Hi guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about transitions. So I've noticed a couple of things. One is transitioning between paragraphs, and the other is transitioning within your paragraph. So this trick will work both ways. This is from the OWL, of course, and it just talks about transitions a little bit. So here I am on my page today on final revision, and then you can just go to the OWL transitions, and when you click that, it'll look like this. So here I am on the OWL transitions. And it talks about how good transitions can connect paragraphs and turn disconnected writing into a unified whole. Instead of treating paragraphs as separate ideas, transitions can help readers understand how paragraphs work together, reference one another, and build to a larger point. The key to producing good transitions is highlighting connections between corresponding paragraphs. By referencing in one paragraph the relevant material from previous paragraphs, writers can develop important points for their readers. So you should never have paragraphs that seem like you're jumping one thing to the next. Oftentimes when I'm reading students' papers, that happens. If you feel that jump, you might want to think about, could this paragraph go somewhere else? So what do we want to do with that? Well, it's a good idea to continue one paragraph where another one leads off. Instances where it's especially challenging, like I said, you're trying to transition them and it's not working, then it probably doesn't belong there. You might want to think about moving that paragraph. An easy way to do this is picking up key phrases from the previous paragraph and highlighting them in the next to create an obvious progression for the reader. Many times it only takes a few words to draw these connections, and instead of writing transitions that could connect any paragraph to another paragraph, like then, finally, next that we talked about before, we want to write a transition that can only be for one specific paragraph to another specific paragraph. So let's look at some examples that they give us here. So their example is that Overall Management Systems International has logged increased sales in every sector, leading to a significant rise in third quarter profits. Another important thing to note is that the corporation has expanded its international influence. So this is very typical of student writing. It has a transition here, but it's a very awkward transition. It's a very immature transition. It doesn't really do exactly what we want to do as writers. So what we could do is this. We keep that same concluding sentence. Overall, Management Systems International has logged increased sales in every sector, leading to a significant rise in third quarter profits. But then we take that word, profits, and we plug it into our next topic sentence and say, these impressive profits are largely due to the corporation's expanded international influence. See how seamless that feels? All it is taking one word from the previous sentence and plugging it in to connect with a keyword to your new paragraph. So let's look at a couple more examples here. Here we have, fearing the loss of Danish lands, Christian IV signed the Treaty of Lubeck, effectively ending the Danish phase of the 30 Years' War. But then something else significant happened. The Swedish intervention began, right? Very simplistic. So a little better would be doing something to say, fearing the loss of more Danish lands, Christian IV signed the Treaty of Lubeck, effectively ending the Danish phase of the 30 Years' War. Shortly after Danish forces withdrew, do you see that? This is what we want to do. Connect that idea of ending the Danish phase. That's what we're doing. We're connecting those two things. The Swedish intervention began. And then there's one more example here with Amy Tan. Amy Tan became a famous author after her novel The Joy Luck Club skyrocketed up the bestseller list. There are other things to note about Tan as well. Amy Tan also participates in the satirical garage band The Rock Bottom Remainers with Stephen King and Dave Barry. That's true. Little piece of factoid there. But instead we could say Amy Tan became famous after her novel The Joy Luck Club skyrocketed up the bestsellers list. Though her fiction is well known, her work with the satirical garage band The Rock Bottom Remainers receives far less publicity. So here we didn't necessarily repeat a word, famous author, novel, right, skyrocketed. We have her fiction, a synonym, which would work just as well. So all of those type of ideas will help you. This is super important. What I have students do is you want to highlight your concluding sentence, highlight your topic sentence, and then circle your key words in your concluding sentence and your topic sentence. Once you've highlighted your key terms, then you create a new sentence that incorporates both a key term from your concluding sentence and a key term from your topic sentence, just as they did in these examples here. That will give you that seamless transition. Now, what else I'm finding, though, is that oftentimes you guys are jumping within your paragraphs, and sometimes you need these transition sentences even within your paragraphs. So if you feel like sometimes it's a bit jarring, or if your reader has said that, like it's choppy or a little confusing, What they mean is that you need to transition some ideas a bit better. And so you can use the same technique within your paragraphs to create a little bit more coherence. And then down here are just some lists of transitional devices. And we've talked about these. These are not bad to use. You should be using them in your writing. We just don't want to be relying on them. Also, you want to use some different ones. If you use the same thing all the time and the same word, however, think about using something different. Think about moreover, hence, a little simultaneously, all these type of words here that you may not typically use. Go through them and try to widen your vocabulary a bit. So I hope this helps with transitions. Make sure you do that work. Go through, highlight your concluding sentence, highlight your topic sentence, circle your key terms, and then write a new sentence incorporating both of those key terms just as they did in the examples here. Good luck.